Okay, so let's dive into this. This feeling, it's everywhere, isn't it? This constant need to be optimizing everything, even ourselves.
hmm It really is pervasive. Like we're all beta versions waiting for the next software update.
Exactly. Always striving for version 2.0 or 3.0. You feel that too. That like relentless push.
Oh, definitely. It's
Uh-huh.
hard not to. It's almost become the background noise of modern life, this constant hum of self-improvement.
Right, and the tools we use. I mean, apps tracking every breath, every step, how much water we drink.
Don't forget sleep cycles. You need an app for that too.
Oh, yeah, can't forget sleep. And these super elaborate morning routines, sometimes they feel less like actual self-care and more like, I don't know, just another box to tick.
Performance optimization for the self. It raises a big question though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is all this hustle, is it genuine growth?
Yeah.
Or is it maybe masking something else?
That's what I've been wondering. Like, what if underneath all the productivity hacks and the goal setting, what if there's this hidden current of anxiety?
Well, anxiety is a pretty fundamental human experience. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough.
Fear of just stopping? The quiet? Maybe even like emptiness. Is that too dramatic?
Not necessarily too dramatic. I think that discomfort with stillness, with simply being rather than doing, is actually quite common. We often fill silence very quickly.
Yeah. And think about how we chase goals. It's almost like, those dating apps where you're just endlessly swiping?
Uh-huh. Looking for the next best match.
It feels like that sometimes with achievements. Like, okay, finish this project. What's next? What's bigger? Better? That feeling that this isn't quite it.
That's a really interesting comparison. The paradox of choice applied to our own lives. Always wondering if a different path, a different goal would have been more fulfilling. It can be paralyzing or just lead to constant searching.
And those 30-day challenges or that
Yeah.
habit trackers notion, Habitica, whatever. You start strong, right? Super motivated.
Oh yeah, the initial buzz is powerful.
But then, I don't know, day 15 hits and it feels like a chore. But you kept going almost out of guilt? Fear of breaking the streak, not because you actually want to anymore.
Right. The motivation shifts from intrinsic enjoyment or benefit to simply avoiding the perceived negative of stopping. It becomes about obligation, not desire.
It's like we're trying to engineer happiness, hack our way to fulfillment through pure efficiency, optimize everything.
As if life is a machine that just needs the right inputs and calibration.
Yeah. But can you really build fulfillment like that? Or is all this focus on control, on optimization, just a way to, avoid the messiness, the unpredictability of it all?
The language itself is telling, isn't it? Hacking, optimizing. It speaks volumes about a desire for mastery, for predictability in areas of life that are inherently, well, not entirely predictable.
Because what actually happens when we don't have every minute scheduled? When there's just space, unstructured time?
For a lot of people, that's deeply uncomfortable, even anxiety-provoking.
Totally. It's like all the background noise stops and you suddenly have to listen to what's going on inside. Those thoughts, those feelings we usually drown out with busyness.
Exactly. That discomfort is a clue, perhaps. It suggests that the constant activity might be serving a purpose beyond just getting things done. It might be a distraction strategy.
So maybe, just maybe, all this striving, achieving, optimizing, it's partly about pushing down the uncomfortable stuff, like loneliness or worrying about the future or just those big, scary existential questions.
It can certainly function that way. It's a form of psychological defense, perhaps? Keeping busy, focusing on external goals, can provide a sense of structure and purpose that distracts from deeper internal anxieties or uncertainties.
But the feelings don't actually go away, do they? They just kind of lurk under the surface.
Repression is the classic term, isn't it? Pushing things out of conscious awareness. But they often exert an influence anyway.
And it's such a paradox, because the very things meant to help us, self-help books, wellness trends, they can actually end up making the anxiety worse. Well, they set these incredibly high standards, right? And then you look at social media and it seems like everyone else is meeting them. Perfectly curated lives, yoga at dawn, green juice, smashing goals.
The comparison trap, yes.
Yeah.
Social media definitely amplifies that. You're comparing your messy reality to someone else's highlight reel. It's almost designed to make you feel inadequate.
So instead of feeling empowered, you just feel more pressure,
Yeah.
more self-critical if you slip up.
It's fascinating how tools for improvement can morph into instruments of self-judgment. They create new benchmarks for potential failure.
Thinking about social media, it's almost like our feeds are kind of public subconscious.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to put it. Expand on that.
Well, they show our desires, right? What we aspire to, but also maybe our fears, fear of missing out, fear of not being seen, and the way we present ourselves, these polished versions. Maybe it's less about reality and more about projecting an image to soothe our own insecurities, seeking that external nod.
So the feed becomes a performance, a way to manage internal anxieties by constructing an external idealized self. That resonates. Are we sharing genuinely or are we seeking validation? Big difference.
And that validation, the likes, the comments, it feels good for a second, doesn't it?
A dopamine hit, sure.
But it fades so fast, and then you need more. So when we find ourselves like obsessively organizing our Trello board or stressing about a deadline way in advance, is it really about the task?
Or is it about managing that underlying hum of anxiety, trying to outrun something uncomfortable?
Yeah, because maybe what we're running towards so hard tells us a lot about what we're running away from.
That's a really powerful point for self-reflection. Interrogating the why behind the what. Is this drive coming from a place of joy and purpose or from a place of avoidance?
And going back to that idea of repression, the hustle culture narrative, the personal branding obsession, it feels like it's trying so hard to project control, success, confidence.
Which, paradoxically, might actually signal the very insecurity it's trying to mask. The more effort you put into crafting the perfect image.
The more you might be trying to hide the cracks underneath. And you know what they say about repressed stuff.
It tends to return, often in unexpected ways. Anxiety, burnout, physical symptoms. The things we push down don't just disappear. They find other ways out.
Okay, let's talk wellness culture for a sec. Mindfulness, meditation, optimizing our mental state. All good things, right? In theory.
In theory, yes. Tools for self-awareness, managing stress.
Could they sometimes be used as another form of avoidance? Like, are we genuinely exploring ourselves, or are we just trying to achieve a state of perfect, undisturbed calm and maybe bypassing the difficult emotions in the process?
That's a critical distinction. Is the practice deepening self-understanding and acceptance of all states, including uncomfortable ones? Or is it being used instrumentally to suppress or numb anything unpleasant? Focusing only on superficial metrics, am I calm now, can sometimes lead to a kind of emotional detachment, yeah.
It makes me wonder, this deep fear we seem to have, is it really just fear of failure? Or is it also, maybe even more terrifyingly, a fear of succeeding, getting everything we thought we wanted and realizing it didn't fix the fundamental unease, that the emptiness or the anxiety is still there?
That is a profound fear.
Yeah.
The possibility that the external chase is ultimately futile for internal peace. It undermines the whole premise of the striving, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you can almost see this sort of broader societal pressure playing out, right? Like an extended version of needing parental approval, but now it's society or our online followers or some internalized ideal we're constantly trying to impress.
That resonates with certain psychoanalytic ideas, like the Oedipus complex extended into adulthood, this perpetual seeking of validation from authority figures, real or symbolic, to affirm our worth. The need for external approval runs deep.
And there's an aggression in it too, isn't there, in this grind culture? It's often turned inwards.
And you mean?
The constant self-criticism, I'm not doing enough, I should be further along, the comparison with others, which is inherently aggressive, really, it feels like. Pent-up frustration, maybe, directed at ourselves.
Self-aggression is a symptom, yes. The relentless inner critic, the harsh self-judgment, the competitive drive that fuels comparison. These can definitely be seen as forms of internalized aggression, perhaps stemming from deeper frustrations or unmet needs.
But the wild thing is, it's all presented as normal, even desirable. Ambition, drive, hustle, it's celebrated.
Right. It's normalized, even valorized, which makes it incredibly hard to step back and question it. If everyone's doing it and it's praised, it must be okay, right? It effectively masks potentially neurotic tendencies by framing them as positive traits.
So the neurotic anxiety just gets rebranded as ambition.
In a way, yes. The underlying drivers might be rooted in insecurity or fear, but the outward behavior gets lauded.
Okay, so bringing it back to us, to you listening, the next time you find yourself endlessly scrolling or meticulously planning that next project or optimizing your schedule down to the minute.
Maybe pause for just a second.
Yeah, and ask yourself, like, what am I really looking for right now? Is it genuine connection? Is it meaning? Is it creative expression?
Or is it maybe just a really effective way to not feel something else? A distraction, a temporary fix.
Because maybe, just maybe, the answers we're chasing out there in the next achievement, the next notification, the next optimization hack,
maybe they aren't out there at all.
Mhm.
Maybe the real work, the real answers, are actually somewhere inside.
Something to think about, anyway.